I travel a lot with my mountain bike using an Evoc travel bag. Done many trips with it and it's been a great bag. But that said, I think that there's a few weak points in the bag, a few points of vulnerability, if you will. So there's a couple things I do to get a little bit of extra protection in my Evoc travel bag, which, well, I'm going to show you guys right here. I got my bike packed up and ready to go on a trip tomorrow. Let's take a look at what I've done to get some extra protection in the areas that I think are vulnerable. All right, so zooming in on the bike here, we will head down to the fork first, and you can see that I've got this piece of foam in there. It's probably about 1.5 inches thick on the bottom, and then it also goes up to the front. A little bit unnecessary up in the front, but on the bottom, very necessary, because most forks have some type of adjustment knob down here at the bottom, and then you've also got the caliper, right? So if this foam isn't in here, it'll be sitting on the bottom of the Evoc travel bag, which is kind of hard, but not, totally rigid and totally hard shell. It kind of bends a little bit and all that, but both these pieces, the bottom of the fork and the adjustment knob and my caliper right there, an XTR caliper, will be on the bottom, and I think that's a very high point of contact, very potential for some high impact. So I set this foam underneath of it, so that way it is on there and it's got some padding, because the case itself has no padding right there. So just a little bit of foam up front. And then if we kind of come up a little bit, you'll see I got some foam right here around the fork. This isn't really for any kind of impact protection, but really just to keep it from rubbing against my handlebar and the brake lever and, well, my dropper and all that that's right around there. Prevent anything from getting scratched. Now up here is another major point, and right now I've got this wedge in there, but if we come behind it and I pull it out, you'll see that I've got my brake lever and shifter up there, right? And that comes right on the top of the bag. I think that is an area that could have some high contact up here. And, these things are just kind of flipping around up here. There could be some impact from the side, from the top. So to kind of combat that, I put this foam block in there with the center cut out, and I just move that over the shift lever and brake lever like that. So now, boom, from the top right there, if there's any impact, it's protected by this nice block of foam. Moving towards the back, towards my rear triangle and the linkage, I've put this little piece of foam in right here. And that's because on my wheel case, or from the wheel kind of holder, this is where my cassette is. So my cassette is right there, and I've got, the cassette right behind there. And once it's all zipped up, it's pretty much smashed up against there and compressed against my frame. So to get a little bit of extra protection out of it, I put the foam in there. And finally, moving to the back, first of all, I've removed the derailleur. The rear derailleur is off of here, and you can see it's kind of been wrapped in foam so that it's, not dangling around and hitting anything and making scratches. And then I tape it up, so that it's in place between the frame. And back here, I've got this big kind of foam sheet back here, and that's because the bike is kind of pushing further back against the back wall of the actual case. So the rear derailleur hanger started tearing the actual inside of the foam, or not the foam, but the inside of the case. So I put this foam back there to prevent and kind of protect against any of that stuff. So yeah, just taking a look at it here with all that stuff in there, the case goes fine. It would probably go fine without any of these little extra protections in there, but I like to have them in there just for my own peace of mind. So let me know what you guys think. What do you think about these protections here and using the Evoc travel case? Is this something that you're going to do? Are you going to put in these extra pieces of foam like I'm doing? Now, where can you get these pieces? Well, it's real simple. Just call your local bike shop, ask if they've got any new bikes in that they're putting together, and if you can have the packing materials. That's how I got these packing materials, just calling in, asking, getting the leftover packing materials from the bikes. I found all these pieces. The only one that would be kind of hard to find is that piece right there that goes up above the handlebar. And simply put, that's just because, well, that doesn't really come in many bike boxes. So I kind of got lucky when I found that. If I didn't find that, well, you can always go to if you don't find it, or if I didn't find it, whatever I'm saying, if I don't have one, bottom line, I could always go to like a craft store, get a block of foam, cut it out with a, a box cutter knife, boom, and stick it in just like that. So it's real easy to do. You can get these little pieces of packing material from your bike shop at no charge typically. Some of them might, want to charge you like $10 or something for it. But hey, just look at it as supporting the local economy and supporting the local bike shop. bike shops are not an easy business to be in. I will say that. I do have some friends that own bike shops. So if they charge you a little fee, most of them won't, but I do know some might, but probably 95% of them won't. Get the packing materials, get all this stuff in use with your Evoc travel bag, guys, and get out there and ride.